What if spirit and matter aren't opposites at all, but frequencies on a single spectrum? What if matter is not dead, but unconscious thought in geometric form? Welcome to the Troward Lectures, Quantum Theology Edition. I'm George Slaughter, and today we're cracking open Section 1 of Thomas Troward's Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science, entitled Spirit and Matter. Section 1, The Common Sense Distinction. Troward quote, "I select this starting point because the distinction, or what we believe to be such, between spirit and matter is one with which we are so familiar that I can safely assume its recognition by everyone, using the adjectives which we habitually apply as expressing the natural opposition between the two, living spirit and dead matter." Thomas Troward, Edinburgh Lectures. Now, Troward starts with a common sense polarity. Spirit is alive, matter is dead. That's the instinctive human view, and it's so deeply embedded that it even appears in our language. But Troward challenges this, because modern physics, modern at his time even, has showed us that so-called dead matter was vibrating with activity. In the quantum field, every atom is alive with motion. Electrons orbit according to probability. Quarks vibrate at Planck scale frequencies, and what appears to be inert is actually a storm of localized energy. Matter isn't lifeless. It's simply lower order, unself-aware movement. Section 2, Life as Degrees of Intelligence. Troward quote, "The old limited mode of thought has imperceptibly slipped away, and we discover that we have stepped out into a new order of things, where all is liberty and life. The livingness of life consists in intelligence. In other words, in the power of thought." Thomas Troward, the Edinburgh Lectures. Now this is the central move. Troward isn't comparing life to death. He's comparing one degree of livingness to another. He asks, what separates a goldfish from a fox terrier, or a fox terrier from a boy, is not the fact of life, but he says it's the degree of intelligence present in that life. In quantum terms, consciousness is the measure of control over probability. The more conscious an entity, the more it acts as a collapse point, an observer that shapes its environment through intelligent choice. In physics, the observer effect. In metaphysics, mind as creative cause. Section 3, Spirit equals thought and matter equals form. Troward, "We may therefore say that the distinctive quality of spirit is thought, and as the opposite to this, we may say that the distinctive quality of matter is form. This is a radical distinction from which important consequences follows." Thomas Troward, Edinburgh Lectures. This is the metaphysical architecture of Troward's worldview. Thought is unbounded, form is confined. Spirit is dynamic, conscious idea, and matter is the spatial residue of that idea. In quantum mechanics, this is the distinction between the wave function and the collapsed state. Thought equals the wave function, a probabilistic cloud of potential. Matter, the collapsed form, the observed, measurable structure. You might say that spirit is the field and matter is the freeze frame. Section 4, Spirit is outside time and space. When the elements of time and space are eliminated, all our ideas of things must necessarily be as subsisting in a universal here and an everlasting now. Thomas Troward, Edinburgh Lectures. This is cosmic. Troward tells us that spirit doesn't unfold across time. It simply is. It doesn't occupy space. It contains space. This aligns perfectly with non-locality and entanglement. On the quantum level, there is no delay between cause and effect. One photon can instantly affect another light years away because both exist in a shared field beyond space-time. So when you think about a thought on the spiritual plane, it's not traveling, it's already there. Section 5, Absolute and Relative equals Wholeness. The error of the extreme idealist is in endeavoring to realize the absolute without the relative. And the error of the extreme materialist is in endeavoring to realize the relative without the absolute. Both are necessary to the formation of a substantial entity. Thomas Troward, Edinburgh Lectures. This right here is the quantum worldview, even in 1904. Troward is saying what physicists would later discover. We live in a reality of dual expression. This is the essence of wave-particle duality. Every quantum object is both wave and particle, both infinite potential and measurable form. Collapse one and you get certainty. Allow the other and you get possibility. Spirit without form is abstract. Form without spirit is empty. But together we have creation. So who are you in this equation? You're not just matter reacting. You're not just spirit floating. You are the intelligent center of consciousness that stands at the epicenter of creation. You are the thought that collapses form, the observer that decides the wave. Welcome to the Troward Lectures, Quantum Edition. We're just getting started. Subscribe if you're ready to explore more quantum parallels, spiritual mechanics, and metaphysical law decoded in modern language. I'm George Slaughter, and you are collapsing the wave.